Was Jeshua a black man? Hey guys, it's John here. I recently got an email from someone who said, if you say Jeshua had dark skin, do you mean black? Specifically in quotes, black. And were you also a black man? There's a lot in this statement that I want to talk about. First of all, the terminology of being a black person. That terminology comes from the civil rights movement. In the early '60s, African Americans were called colored or Negro, or the horrible derivation of that word. And the word black became very much a liberating term. Now, this question, the person who's asking this question, there's a couple of things I would want to know about. I said that Jeshua had darker skin, right? And they're asking me, did I mean black? Now, you have to understand, Jeshua came from the Middle East. He looked very much like an Egyptian with the darker skin. I mean, he was a darker skinned guy, right? Was he a black man? No, I don't mean that terminology, because I don't believe that 1960s terminology is not what I would delineate him as. You know, it depends on what your definition of black is. Do you mean like Nigerian, Cameroon kind of, black and the curly kinky hair and the features of a black man? No, he didn't look anything like that. Was he dark skinned? Yes, he was. As were we all, because we were all from that region of the world. We were all darker skinned, and I say darker skinned on purpose, because first of all, one of my favorite quotes from a weird movie was the movie Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner. A little boy comes up to the Morgan Freeman character, and he says, "Did God paint you?" And Morgan Freeman laughs and says, "Did God paint me?" He goes, "Indeed he did." And the boy says, "Why?" He says, "Because Allah loves wondrous variety." I love the wondrous variety of the world. And I have dated black women. I have dated Middle Eastern women. I have dated white women. I have dated, when it comes to relationships, I don't see the color. I see the person. Do I love the person? Does the person hit me in a way that I think is stunning? Do we resonate? I don't see the color. It's just not who I am. And there was a time long ago that I did see the color. And and when I was 19, I've told this story before, I felt the presence of Jeshua, and from that point on, was never had racist thoughts again. But the idea of this was that I don't see the color. Now, I have had the experience where I was speaking at a convention one time, and a group of black women were in the back of the room, and they said, "What color was he?" And I said, my response was exactly this. I said, "I would like to say that he was no color, but he was darker skinned." And she says, "You speak the truth." And I was like, "Yeah." But my only concern about this is, and it's just a concern for the person who asked it. I often have people come to me and say, "I read the Bible, and I can tell you right now from what I've read that Jeshua and the disciples were gay." Right? And then I have other people say, "I read the Bible. I can tell you just from reading the Bible, obviously the women were the most important thing in the Bible." And I had someone just the other day sent me a message saying that I'm a sexist. And I found it ridiculous, because the person doesn't know me at all. If she knew me at all, she'd know that some of my closest friends are women. And I call them and talk to them almost daily, including my sister being one, right? And I don't see gender in God. I don't see the gender aspect. I just see the person. But each one of these people, the ones who said he was gay, the ones who said the women were more important, the ones who reached out and called me a sexist, right? I've had vegetarians get really mad at me because I said Joshua ate meat, even though it says it everywhere. He ate lamb, he ate fish, he says it everywhere. But people get mad at me and tell me that I'm a liar and everything else because their focus is on being vegetarian, right? And people will oftentimes find their cause, and then they will fight their cause, and then they will start to see their cause everywhere, and they will start to create troubles into their own life because of the cause they've chosen. All of the causes are just dividers. They're just things to make us better than you, or justify our existence, or to. But the reality of it is, we need to come to humanity, right? I remember I was directing a Sherlock Holmes play. We had a scene where there was a group of people, and they were talking about this one guy, and there was like 4 comments in a row about this one guy. And they're like, he's this, he's that, he's this. And then the 4th one says, he's cute. And it was just really, it was a cool moment. And I gave that line to a guy. And it wasn't for comedic purposes, because this. And the actor took the moment, and he played it very queeny. And he was like, he's cute, right? And I didn't want that. What I really wanted, and I said to him was, I said, I don't want you to play it that way. I said, I want you to play this very naturally, because we can't make it normal until we all start treating it as normal. You know, there are people in the world who are born gay. There are people in the world who have those inclinations. And we all have to, if we love them, we accept them as who they are. Because love in any form is not wrong, because God is love. And so this concept of man and woman as husband and wife, first of all, husband and wife, marriage itself is a religious dogma. It's a religious rule. It has nothing to do with what you are supposed to do in life. That's a religious dogma, right? Second thing is man and woman as wife. You know, that's Paul's stuff, right? Paul's also the guy who said that priests aren't allowed to have sex at all, have to be celibate. So they're battling their own carnal or primal instincts, and it causes issues. That, you know, priests molesting children, you know, and things of that nature. That's because of their not being able to express love fully. And with this question of dark skinned or black, or we were also black, I think we need to stop talking about color as a delineator or a divider, and start talking about loving your fellow person, your fellow humans. And people will often say to me, but you know what? It's been so, you know, we've got to fight against it. Mother Teresa said, don't invite her to an anti-war rally. She said, have a pro-peace rally and I'll come. Well, the divider are drawing lines, and those lines are the things that are creating. That's the anti-war. We have to live peacefully and joyfully with our friends. The only grateful thing that I see in this world about this topic is this. I have an amazing son. I love my son. His entire class does not remotely see color. They just don't see it, right? Now, for me, you know, my niece's son is half black. He's an amazing athlete and student and polite, nice young man, right? I love him. I think he's great. But it comes down to, we have to just accept him as who he is. We have to accept everyone for who they are. But the second we say, and he's black, we've created a delineation, a division. And I'm not about division, as Jeshua was not about division. He spoke to the Samaritan woman at the well. Well, he shouldn't have been speaking to a woman nor a Samaritan, being a Jewish man. Both of those things were wrong. But he did it anyway. Why? Because it didn't matter. He went and hung out with the lepers. Why? Everybody else was avoiding the lepers and staying away from lepers. He went and helped them come out of their leprosy. Why? Because he didn't delineate. He didn't separate. He didn't hold things against people. Right? And the second we start saying, well, I'm a Jewish man and you have to do what I'm saying. Or I'm a Jewish man and that justifies everything. That kind of ruins the whole concept of the teachings. He didn't care whether you're Jewish, white, black, yellow, purple, or polka dotted. He only cared that you were loving. And the more we focus on our differences instead of our similarities, the more division we're going to create. And so, Jeshua was a dark-skinned Middle Eastern man. I'm not sure what your definition of black is. If your definition of black is deepest, darkest Africa, Nigerian man, Nigerian woman, he didn't look like that. He looked like a Middle Eastern man. And that's really what it comes down to. I hope you're hearing this in from the position it's being stated. It's coming from a state of just wanting everyone to love everybody. That's all I want. And I think we need to stop all this dividing by color, race, gender, any of them, who or what we love. We need to just step out of that and come into we are all one. And God loves wondrous variety. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. The John of New channel is solely funded by your generous donations and purchases of private readings and merchandise. To help out, go to johnofnew.com or use the donation link in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.